Greetings, kindred friend. Let us spend a quiet moment right now. Imagine darkness enveloping the room, the ticking of the clock in the corner becoming clearer than ever. Your body is lying still on the warm bed, but inside your chest, why is everything becoming so noisy? Fragments of memory about an old mistake, anxiety about changing health, or the fog of an uncertain future keep repeating in your mind like an endless movie. There is a bitter paradox that few people tell us. The older we get, the busier the mind seems to become, rather than stiller. But dear friend, let me gift you a liberating truth right this moment. Peace does not fade with age, it deepens. In tonight's journey, we will go together through the wise lessons of the Buddha to learn how to soothe inner turmoil, clear the fog of thought, and rediscover the most radiant presence right inside you. It is time you stop being a hostage to your mind, to truly return home in complete stillness. Lesson 1. Recognizing the nature of overthinking. Try imagining your mind right now like a river in flood season. But this is a strange river. It has no banks. Because there are no banks to block the way, the streams of thought keep flowing chaotically, directionlessly, creating whirlpools of anxiety and exhaustion. In Buddhist wisdom, this state is called monkey mind. Like a monkey swinging from branch to branch, never stopping, our minds jump continuously from fragments of past memories to hypothetical scenarios of the future. Why does it seem that the older we get, the more panicked that monkey becomes? That is because we are carrying two invisible burdens, attachment and fear. We attach to past youth, to old titles, or to the attention of our children. At the same time, we fear the decline of health, fear loneliness, and the uncertainty of the coming days. It is this tug of war that creates the bankless river, keeping your nervous system in a constant state of combat readiness, even when you are lying still. However, dear friend, let me gift you a key to completely change the relationship between you and your mind. Engrave this truth into your heart. Thoughts are not your enemies. They are just passing guests. Thoughts are not enemies. They are visitors. Tonight, I invite you to perform a shift in identity. Instead of saying, "I am anxious," try saying, "I recognize an anxious thought passing by." In psychological science, this is called cognitive diffusion. You are not the flooded river. You are not the monkey swinging from branches. You are the silent observer, calmly standing on the bank, watching the water flow by. When you realize you are the observer, the stream of thoughts will gradually lose the power to hurt you. You do not need to chase them away, nor do you need to solve them. Just smile and allow them to be present and then dissolve on their own. The very moment you loosen your grip on thoughts, you will see the inner river begin to automatically recreate the two banks of stillness. Sleep in the belief that, no matter how dark the clouds are, the sky of awareness within you is always clear and intact. Lesson 2. The Wisdom of Impermanence. When change is the door to freedom. At the core of Buddhist wisdom, there is a concept called anicca, or impermanence. He taught that everything in this world, from distant stars to every single cell in your body, is in a continuous flow of change. Nothing stands still forever. Dear friend, in the twilight years, perhaps you are someone who understands this more clearly than anyone else. You see impermanence present on your skin, in your hair, and even in the slowing down of your steps. However, there is a silent paradox. We accept the change of the physical body, but often mistakenly believe that the anxious thoughts in our heads are eternal. When sadness or regret strikes at night, the mind tricks you into thinking it will be there forever, that you will be imprisoned in this feeling endlessly. But look at this liberating truth. Thoughts are as impermanent as your heartbeat. It arises, exists for a moment, then is forced to dissolve to make way for the next beat. Imagine you are standing under an ancient tree in autumn. The dry yellow leaves gently leave the branch, drift leisurely in the air, and then calmly touch the Mother Earth. The tree does not try to hold on to the leaves. It does not fight to prevent the falling. It knows that the leaves must fall so the life sap can be withdrawn to the core, preparing for a new rebirth. Your mind should be like that too. Every anxious thought, every fearful scenario is actually just a dry leaf, finding its way to leave your soul. Suffering does not come from the appearance of thoughts, but from the desperate effort to keep those leaves on the branch. Tonight, instead of fighting, I invite you to perform an awakening bridge. Every time a thought loop begins to pull you away, whisper a powerful affirming sentence, "This moment is gone. Right now, I am here. This moment is gone. I am here now." When you acknowledge the temporary nature of thought, you completely strip away its power. Worry is no longer a stone wall. It is just a hazy smoke gradually dissipating under the moonlight. Engrave this sacred truth into your mind. Impermanence is not something to be feared. Impermanence is exactly liberation. Thoughts never have enough power to lock you up forever, unless you believe they will never leave. Impermanence is liberating. Thoughts cannot trap you permanently. Tonight, let the leaves of the old day fall completely. Let the breath guide you by the hand through the flow of change, so you may rest in the expansiveness of a soul that has understood that all storms will eventually turn into nothingness. Lesson 3. Mindfulness. The anchor of stillness. Dear friend, do you ever realize that our minds are tireless time travelers? It rarely agrees to stay still in one place. Most fatigue and overthinking arise because we are living in places that are not real. We wander in the past, searching for regret, or we project ourselves into the future to gather anxieties. Tonight, I invite you to perform an act of returning. Mindfulness, in the wisdom of the Buddha, is not a complex technique or a distant religion. It is as simple as your breath. Right this moment, as you are lying warm and snug in bed, try devoting all your attention to the air entering and exiting the nostrils. Perform a small ritual with me. When inhaling, whisper, "Breathing in, I know I am breathing in." When exhaling, smile and whisper, "Breathing out, I know I am breathing out." Just like that. You do not need to make an effort to focus. You just need to know you are breathing. The miracle of mindful breathing is that it immediately cuts the connecting string between you and the anxious scenarios in your head. It switches your brain from analyzing mode to feeling mode. Understand this liberating truth. The present moment is your only true refuge. Present moment is the only real refuge. When you take refuge in the present, the past no longer has the power to hurt you, and the future no longer has the power to frighten you. You can expand this stillness into every smallest action of tomorrow. Try feeling the warmth spreading through your palm when you lift a cup of tea. Focus on the contact of your foot with the ground when you take a walk in the garden. Or simply listen to the sound of rain falling on the porch without needing to ask why. When you bring the mind right back to where the physical body is present, you are creating an absolutely safe space for the nervous system to rest. Clarity does not come from thinking more. It comes from you being more deeply present. Tonight, let the breath be the anchor, keeping the boat of your soul staying with the still lake of the present. You do not need to go anywhere, because all the treasures of peace have inherently always been right inside this heartbeat. Lesson 4. Self-compassion. When the heart reconciles with itself. Dear friend, try quietly listening to the judge, sitting inside your mind. How many times on silent nights like this does that judge rise up and begin to pronounce sentences? It recalls mistakes from youth, words that should not have been uttered, or opportunities you believe you lost. We often treat ourselves with a harshness we would never use to treat a close friend. Overthinking is actually often a form of self-punishment. In the wisdom of the Buddha, compassion, metta, is only truly complete when it encompasses even the person closest to you, that is, yourself. He once taught a truth that makes our hearts throb. You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself, and that person is not to be found anywhere. You deserve your own love and affection. Tonight, I invite you to perform the gentlest revolution of the soul. Learn to become your own tolerant father, mother. Instead of continuing to use bitter words like, "I have failed," try replacing them with an awakened understanding. At that time, I did my best with what I knew. I acknowledge the effort of the soul that has resiliently gone through so many storms. Perform a healing ritual with me right now. Gently place a hand on your heart. Feel the warmth from your palm slipping through the shirt, touching the persistent beat still faithfully nourishing you for decades. Closing your eyes, send inside the seeds of soothing. May I be at peace. May I be free from fear. May I live in tolerance toward myself. When you stop fighting with yourself, the war in your mind will automatically end. Overthinking no longer has fuel to blaze when the fire of self-judgment has been extinguished by the cool stream of compassion. You do not need to be perfect to be loved. You only need to be present here, cherishing the broken pieces of the old journey like medals of maturity. Sleep in your own warm embrace, because tonight you have truly found the way back to absolute reconciliation. Lesson 5. The Art of Letting Go. When the hands stop gripping. Dear friend, we often mistakenly believe that thinking is an automatic process, but in Buddhist wisdom, overthinking is actually a manifestation of attachment. We grip tightly onto old memories out of fear of being forgotten. We grip tightly onto mistakes believing we must pay the price. And we grip tightly onto regrets out of the illusion that if we think enough, we can change what is petrified. But it is that very anxious grip that exhausts you, not the past event itself. Tonight, I invite you to perform a silent liberation called letting go, upekkha, meaning letting go of the hands so everything can be free. Letting go is not forgetting, nor is it escaping. Letting go is the brave act of telling the mind that everything is done. Today's working session has officially closed. Every time an old thought rhythm arises, instead of fighting to chase it away, perform a ritual of loosening the soul. Repeat this loving mantra: I release this thought with love. I release this thought with love. Feel the warmth of compassion melting the last rigidities in your consciousness. When you release thoughts, you will realize a vaster truth about your being through the metaphor of the sky and the clouds. Most of us spend a lifetime believing we are the clouds. We believe we are sadness. We believe we are anxiety. We believe we are dark scenarios. But dear friend, look deeper into the darkness of the room right now. The clouds can be pitch black, can be gloomy, can obscure the moon. But they have never been the sky. Clouds come and go, are born and dissipate, while the sky is always there, vast, eternal, and completely unharmed by any storm. Understand this liberating truth. You are not the storm of thoughts. You are exactly the still sky containing that storm. When you make this leap in identity, your nervous system will immediately be liberated from the defense mechanism. You no longer need to solve thoughts because you know they cannot hurt the sky. That is you. Tonight, allow the anxious clouds to drift leisurely by without holding on to them. Rest in your own endless expansiveness, where all burdens of the past day have been returned to the void for sheltering. Lesson 6. The Power of Stillness. When peace becomes the true home. Listen to the sound of your room right this moment. Do you hear the silence encompassing all things? Most of our lives, we are taught that to have peace, we must do something, must finish solving the problem, must achieve an accomplishment, or must change reality. But in the ultimate wisdom of the Buddha, true peace lies on the other side of all effort. It lies in stillness. The stillness I am talking about is not soulless emptiness. It is a full and pure presence. You do not need to search for it all the way in the Himalayas or in distant caves. That stillness has inherently always been here, right in the space between your two breaths, in the moment you watch the sun slowly rise by the window frame, or in the moment you sit still alone with a cup of tea and feel the warmth spreading in your palms. The biggest mistake making us toss and turn every night is the effort wanting to solve overthinking. We think that if we think enough, we will find a way out. But dear friend, you cannot clean a bowl of murky water by using your hand to stir it. The only way for the water to clear again is to set the bowl of water down and leave it still. Stillness does not extinguish thought by violence. It dissolves thought by tolerance. When you step into a state of stillness, you no longer stand out to fix your life. You rise above the troubles instead of wrestling with them. At this time, your nervous system is not only safe, but it is also integrated into the great heartbeat of the universe. In Buddhist wisdom, this state is close to touching the concept of nirvana. Do not consider it a distant heavenly realm only for saints and sages. Nirvana actually means extinction, like you blowing out a hot burning candle. Tonight, when you choose stillness, you are blowing out the flame of anxiety, blowing out the heat of regret, and blowing out even the fear of the future. Nirvana is exactly this relieved breath, right here, when all burdens of the ego have been set down on the compassionate earth. Now, I invite you to perform the final leap of consciousness. Notice, who is listening to these words? Who is observing the heaving breath in your chest? You are not the person trying to sleep. You are not the person carrying this illness or sadness. You are exactly the pure awareness containing all those experiences. That awareness has no age, has no pain, and is never hurt. It is as still as the ocean floor, regardless of how many storms of thought pass by on the surface. When you realize you are this vast awareness, overthinking will automatically dissipate, like mist meeting the sunlight. You have nothing left to prove, nothing left to fear. You have arrived home. Tonight, allow yourself to dissolve into that eternal stillness. Let your body rest in the arms of the universe, because you have inherently always been the peace you always seek. Greetings, friend. Our journey tonight has gone from the agitations of the bankless river to the harbor of absolute stillness. We have learned to view thoughts as guests, understood impermanence to loosen our hands, anchored to the present, and watered compassion for ourselves. Engrave this one final truth. You are never trapped by your thoughts. You are only trapped by the belief that you are those thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Peace is already within you. Tonight, you no longer owe the world any explanation. You no longer owe the past any punishment. You are enough. You are whole. If the teachings of the Buddha tonight have helped your heart tighten less, please help me spread this good energy with a like button and subscribe to the channel. That is how we together light the lamps of awakening amidst the long night. Before closing your eyes, I invite you to leave a comment. I choose stillness as a commitment to your own radiant soul. Wishing you a long night of peace, complete letting go, and waking up in the magnificent light of a new being. Goodbye, and see you again in the next journeys of awakening.